Boom! Femke Bol just smashed a Dutch 800-meter record. That record stood for 34 whole years. And get this, she still didn't even win the race. Lausanne gave her the biggest jump forward in her brand new event. But how she got there? That's the real story here. And it's way bigger than just one number on a clock. Mark the date, August 21st, 2026. Femke steps up for the women's 800 meters at Athleticima in Lausanne. Audrey Wero had the crowd roaring for her. She's one of the toughest 800-meter runners on the planet. Femke came in carrying a different kind of weight. She had already gotten so close to Dutch history. One clean race could finally push her past it once and for all. The pace was brutal from the very start. Wero said before the race she wanted a blazing fast first lap. The pacemaker took the pack through the first 400 meters at a scary speed. Athleticima pointed out that Wero hit the halfway mark almost 2 seconds faster than Jarmila Kratochvílová did back in her 1983 world record run of 1:53.28. That kind of fast start changes the whole race. It can break the field apart. But it's a huge gamble, too, because the last 200 meters can turn into a brutal fight just to hold your form. Wero took that risk anyway. She kept pushing hard even after the pacemaker dropped out.
Habitam Alemu from Ethiopia started closing the gap. Meanwhile, Femke stayed patient, sticking close but not rushing her move. The race turned messy fast, and Wero's early burst was starting to cost her. That's the moment Femke made her move. Turning into the home straight, she still had gas in the tank to attack. Her years of experience as a world-class 400-meter hurdler kicked in at just the right second. She ate into Wero's lead stride by stride. For a few wild seconds, it looked like Femke might steal the whole race right at the line. Wero barely hung on, crossing in 1:55.33. Femke came in right behind her at 1:55.41, with Seyum grabbing third in 1:56.92. First and second were separated by just 0.08 seconds. But that time next to Femke's name meant something huge. 1:55.41 is now the fastest outdoor 800 meters ever run by a Dutch woman ever. The old record belonged to Ellen van Langen, who ran 1:55.54 to win Olympic gold in Barcelona back on August 3, 1992. That record stood strong for 34 years before Femke finally broke through in Lausanne. And Van Langen's mark wasn't just any record. It came from an Olympic final with gold on the line, and it survived through generation after generation of Dutch runners. Femke didn't just beat a number, she beat a legend's performance from one of the biggest moments in Dutch Olympic history. And the timing? Unreal. At the European Championships in Birmingham on August 14, 2026, Femke ran exactly 1:55.54. She tied Van Langen's record that night, right down to the hundredth of a second. She didn't break it, not yet. Then, just 7 days later, she found the extra 0.13 seconds she needed, and Wero made her own history in that very same race. Her 1:55.33 crushed Keely Hodgkinson's Lausanne meeting record of 1:55.69, set back on August 20, 2025.
In cool weather, around 17 to 18 degrees Celsius, the top two women each smashed a record in the very same race. That shows just how insane the level of competition was that night. For Femke, the best part came after the clock stopped. She talked about needing to trust herself more through the middle of the second lap. She admitted she still has to learn when to push hard instead of holding back too much. This wasn't even a race she felt she ran perfectly. There was one moment that really bugged her too. Femke said she got frustrated when Seyum passed her on the back straight, even though she still felt strong. In the 800 meters, losing your position can force you to react too late, and when the finish is decided by less than 1/10 of a second, every tiny choice matters big time. That's what makes Lausanne mean so much more than just a fast time. Femke didn't even need a perfect race to run 1:55.41. Her own words show that her tactics still need to catch up to her fitness. The record is hers now, locked in, but she already knows what she wants to fix next time. And Wero? She earned every bit of credit for her front-running effort. She had just won the European title in Birmingham on August 14th and admitted the quick turnaround into Lausanne left her more tired than usual. Still, she pushed a brutal pace, fought off pressure from Sayam, and found enough in the tank to hold off Femke's late charge. That made Lausanne a win for both women. Wero proved she can win even when a race gets messy and painful. Femke proved she can hang with one of the best 800-meter runners on Earth and turn the final stretch into a real battle. Even bigger than that, this race proved her jump to 2 laps isn't just potential anymore, it's real.
And her road to this moment moved fast, crazy fast. Femke's first outdoor 800-meter race happened in Ostrava on June 16, 2026. She ran 1:57.13 and finished second behind Vero. A strong start, sure, but it also showed just how different the 800 was from the 400-meter hurdles. 5 days later, on June 21st, she raced again at the FBK Games in Hengelo and won in 1:57.41. Not faster than Ostrava, but it gave her something just as important: real experience controlling an 800 instead of just following someone else's pace. Then came Paris on June 28th, and that's when everything changed. Femke ran 1:55.60, while Vero won in 1:53.80. Suddenly, the Dutch record was just 0.06 seconds away. At that point, this wasn't an experiment anymore. Femke was running at national record pace only weeks into her outdoor debut. Birmingham on August 14th proved Paris was no fluke. Femke matched Van Langen's record exactly, taking bronze behind Vero and Keely Hodgkinson. Then Lausanne finished the job just 1 week later. This whole stretch shows real steady progress, no need to dress it up. Her very first 800-meter race actually happened indoors back on February 8, 2026 in Metz. Femke won in 1:59.07 and set a Dutch indoor record while she was at it. From the very beginning of this new chapter, the signs were already there. She had the engine for 2 laps. But outdoor racing was going to demand a whole lot more than just raw fitness. This whole switch was a massive gamble. On October 10, 2025, Femke announced she was leaving the 400-meter hurdles behind to chase the 800 for 2026. She was already a 2-time world champion in the hurdles, one of the biggest stars in the sport. But these 2 events are worlds apart. In the 400 hurdles, Femke runs her own lane, hits fixed barriers, and controls her own rhythm start to finish. In the 800, she has to fight through a pack, guard her position, read the pace, and pick the exact moment to strike. That's why every single race has been part fitness test, part hard lesson.
And Wero has become the perfect measuring stick for how far Femke has come. The 2 have raced each other 4 times outdoors over 800 meters in 2026. Wero has won every single time. But look at the gaps. 2.68 seconds in Ostrava, down to 1.80 in Paris, then just 0.73 at the European Championships, and now only 0.08 seconds in Lausanne. That pattern says it all. No need to repeat it twice. Femke still hasn't beaten Wero outdoors in the 800. But she's turned a huge gap from June into a nail-biting photo finish by August. And don't sleep on Wero either. She's no easy target. She ran 1:53.98 in Stockholm on June 7th, then 1:53.80 in Paris on June 28th, putting herself among the fastest women in history over 800 meters. She spent all of 2026 proving she can win fast races, big championship races, and razor-close races, and that's exactly